Well, Taurus, a new moon at the very end of October ushers in the month of November 2016 with a brand new note in terms of your relationships with both the Sun, the Moon and Mercury as well in your 7th house of relationships. That's in the sign of Scorpio. So always a good note to begin the month, new cycle, especially as far as your most intimate relationships are concerned. And as I said, that's taking place just at the end, has taken place at the end of October, but it is an omen for a start of November to be one that is going to give you some whole new spin on the way you approach your relationships. Maybe even, would you believe, a change in heart from your partner. So if you've been having some troubles there, this is the time to clean the slate completely free of any of those past issues and start afresh. There's also a full moon which will take place in your sun sign around the 14th. So that's the other side of the coin. And of course the moon is in its best position in your sun sign. And so leading up to the 14th and thereafter, some really good sorts of opportunities for you in terms of developing the confidence, the skills, and I suppose the courage is the word I'm looking for, because the moon for you rules your 3rd house of valor. And if you've been a little bit reluctant to try something, if you've been feeling a bit snowed under, if people haven't been encouraging enough, then it's really great news to know that around that time you'll start to feel that energy lifting. And because the moon is an emotional planet, you'll be able to muster up that emotional power, that belief in what it is that you actually want to do. Speaking about that, that's what's happening on the inside. Mars, which is also ruling your 7th house, will move into the very powerful 10th house. That's the upper part of your horoscope, the most important part of the chart, and it generally relates to your professional activities. The Sun and Mars both have what's called directional strength in this part of the horoscope. The one danger here is that you could be a little too courageous, and you've got to be careful in the way you approach your employers and even co-workers, because they may see you as being a little bit too aggressive. So no problem in mustering up the strength, exhibiting that confidence. Better for it to be a quiet confidence rather than a confidence that comes across as if you're a little bombastic and egotistical, which I'm sure you can bring under control. And with that Mars moving into 10th house, Mars is a planet of fighting spirit. It gives you the ability to compete and to win out against your competitors. We see that taking place early in the month as well. On the 9th, it moves into your 10th house. And that is the start of a whole new cycle where you can actually start to taste success. You can start to make it happen. You're not going to feel as encumbered by the circumstances or the people that are around you. And really, you've got the green light to achieve a great deal throughout the coming month or two, especially in the professional arena. We see that your ruling planet, Venus, has moved away from that, I guess you'd call it a cool conjunction with Saturn. Saturn, however, is a good planet for you, and this does relate to such things as your children. It relates to long distance journeys in a way, because it's actually in the sign of Sagittarius right now. For the most part, it rules your professional arena along with the planet Uranus. And we see that conjunction is also a further testimony that you've been exhibiting a lot of conviction and real sort of foresight in your planning about what it is you want to achieve professionally. The downside of that, however, is that there's a traditional view that Venus and Saturn do cool the affection. So it could be that you've had to really put a lot of energy into this professional side of your life right now, and that has disadvantaged some of your relationships. It may have even disadvantaged yourself, because Venus is the planet that rules you. So you've got to be careful to find balance there. And whilst you do want to, make your mark in the world, you also want to maintain that equanimity within yourself and that balance in your personal life, your relationships, and your home environment. Let's have a look here. There is another interesting thing here. Venus, which is your ruler, on the 12th. A lot happening around that time, 9th to the 12th. Venus will move into the sign of Capricorn, which is the 9th house of your horoscope relating to long distance travels. It will then make a very powerful conjunction to the planet Pluto, which intensifies the energy that we've talked about earlier. So this is the time where you've got to be a little bit careful. Sometimes Pluto is obsessive in its action. It also can bring about a very powerful sort of demolition of the existing conditions in your life. So leaving aside the fact that Venus is your ruler, it does have a strong connotation with love, romance, socializing, that type of thing. It could be that some big changes are coming for you in the area of your relationships. And sometimes Pluto tears things down completely so that they can be completely rebuilt. So, it's like painting over a wall which hasn't been completely prepared. You need to do that preparation first. You need to strip off all the old wallpaper, sand it back, wash it down, and then start with those undercoats. So I think if I use that as an analogy, the way your relationships are going right now may need pretty much of an overhaul. And that's when you could start to see the intensification with that conjunction of Venus to Pluto. At the same time, a little bit later, we see Jupiter in your 6th house going into the right angle to Pluto. That's on the same date actually as the perfect conjunction of your ruler with Pluto happens. So it's interesting that Jupiter is the planet of expansion and sometimes excess. We've talked about this as a theme for you this month, where you may be working a little bit too much. You've got the blinkers on, you know what it is you want, you're focused, you've got your plan in action, but that is impacting upon your personal life right now, and you need to be careful that you don't do irreparable damage there. At least we see with the new moon taking place in the zone of relationships, the Pluto conjunction with Venus, and also the square of Jupiter, with Mars moving in your 10th house. All of this points to the fact that there is a renovation going on in terms of your personal life, yet at the same time some really, really good things happening by way of your professional experiences. So that's all pretty good actually, as long as you're aware of the relationship side of things. Do take a visit to astrology.com.au. You've got all your daily, monthly and yearly horoscopes there to support what's being said here as a general view. And of course we have the personal readings if you need to delve a little more deeply into your horoscope. Hope to see you here again next month. Take care, Taurus, and good luck. Bye-bye.